Hello, everybody. Welcome to Amazing You podcasts and YouTube channels, the channels where stories of resilience, triumph, and unwavering hope come to life. In each episode, we dive into the inspiring journey of individuals who have faced the toughest challenges heads-on and emerged victorious. Our aim is to be a beacon of inspiration, offering a guiding light to those navigating difficult times, to those navigating through difficult times. Whether you are dealing with health challenges, professional setbacks, or personal struggles, this channel is dedicated to uplifting your spirit and showing you that even in the darkest moments, there's a path to hope and triumph. So join us as we share powerful stories that transcend adversity, reminding you that resilience is a force within us all. So prepare to be inspired and find the strength to navigate life challenges. So I am your host. My name is Dr. Rani. I am a clinical hypnotherapist using rapid transformational therapy method. I am a Mars Venus life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, tarot reader, life force compassion practitioner, and chakra practitioner. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to Michael Finan, a seasoned New Jersey filmmaker, skillfully navigates a 3 Emmy, 4-decade career in corporate communications while channeling a profound dedication to amplifying the concerns of today's youth. Collaborating with a dedicated team, he produces and directs short films that address pressing social issues such as drug abuse, COVID-related challenges in returning to school, mental health, and the impact of social media and disinformation on democracy. So utilizing his extensive professional network, Michael ensures these impactful films reach local, state, and national lawmakers, transforming them into advocacy tools. The impetus for his latest endeavor, Will You Hear Me Now?, arose from the alarming CDC findings that identified gun violence as the primary cause of death for children in the United States. As a father of 2 young adults, this revelation served as a tipping point for Michael and his collaborators. So the promotional film for Will You Hear Me Now, featuring the Detroit Youth Choir, a finalist from America's Got Talent Season 14, has already made waves on social media. So looking ahead, Michael has ambitious plan to expand this project into a comprehensive documentary, further solidifying his commitment to addressing critical societal issues through impactful storytelling. So welcome to Amazing You, Michael.
It's great to be here. And it sounds like you're amazing from just listening to your credentials.
Everybody is amazing. You are amazing too for everything that you've done. It's really, really an honor to have you to share that so that we understand more of what is going on, because the issues in the states are different from over the world, but it's impact on children everywhere. There are issues that impact children, and children needs to be heard, need to be listened to. So can you share with us, Michael, how your journey as a filmmaker began and how it evolved into addressing pressing social issues through your work?
Yes, thank you. So what's really amazing is that kids want to be able to speak and have a voice because they are amazing
Yes.
and quite smart, intelligent, and passionate about the things that they need and want. If we just simply ask them and give them a voice. So I'm a corporate filmmaker.
Okay.
And I do different projects for pharmaceutical companies and other companies. Um, but I've always had this passion for giving a voice to underserved communities, marginalized communities, and in particular, kids. And
Okay.
I've done other projects in the past with giving kids a voice for drug abuse and the kinds of messages for anti-drug PSAs that they would think would be effective to their peers, giving them a voice about how they felt about going back to school during lockdown, giving them a voice about how they felt about a peaceful transition of power during a U.S. election, and other mental health issues. So a few months ago, during the 1 year anniversary of the Uvalde shooting,
Okay.
I decided to do something.
Right.
I felt motivated to get some kind of message out there from kids about what's happening and how they really feel. And as I started to put together the project, I realized that kids don't want members of Congress or lawmakers to pray with them or send them condolences or to pat them on the back and say things will get better.
Mm.
They don't want to be shot in school. It's that simple. Schools should be safe havens to just simply learn and grow and thrive and not have to run for cover because a gunman is in school with an assault weapon. It's really that simple.
Mm.
And the fears around that is not just the students who might have unfortunately and horribly experienced just that, but to any student going to school because they think is my school next? I mean, this happens on university campuses, it happens in kindergartens, it happens in middle schools, high schools, everywhere. It happens in school, and then it happens to kids actually leaving school at night. As recently in Chicago, two kids were shot and killed exiting the school at night in front of the school.
Wow.
So, so I thought, okay, so what's an effective way that the kids can communicate how they feel? So I was motivated by some videos that I saw of the Detroit Youth Choir,
Okay.
who came in second place on America's Got Talent in season 14. They got the golden buzzer, and they're a pretty wonderful, talented group of young individuals,
Yes.
and approached them about collaborating on this project because I saw they did a video and they dedicated it to a Uvalde victim. And they took the Guns N' Roses song, Sweet Child of Mine, and
Mm.
performed it. And I thought, well, why don't we go one step further and actually do an original song?
Yes.
So the composer, Jim Papoulis, that I work with, he and I came up with the title of the song, Will You Hear Me Now? And
Mm.
he wrote the music for it. And then Rick Weiss, the screenwriter that I work with, he and I went with Jim to Detroit and conducted a workshop, as you saw in the video, and got the kids to think about the words that they would want to say to lawmakers in the song. So they wrote all the words.
Wow.
And not only did they write them, but they sang them. And the defining moment was when one kid said, I have a line. How many lives will it take for you to listen? That was it.
Mm.
That became the subtitle, if you will, for Will You Hear Me Now? How many lives will it take?
Mm.
And the power of the song is, Will you hear me right now?
Mm.
And the urgency of getting the message out there is so that something is done
Yes.
right now to prevent future shootings.
Absolutely.
This is March and the middle of March, and there already has been about 50 or so mass shootings in the country. And there has already been a school shooting. In fact, there was a school shooting day one, hour one
Mm.
in January after the Christmas break in Perry, Iowa, and a student was killed. So the time is now, and this is a chance for the kids to talk about how they feel. It's not their job to come up with the solution. It's not even my job to come up with a solution. All I can do is simply give them a platform for them to express how they feel so that others who are put in office to do the job can do something.
Yes, I think that's beautiful. It's empowering those kids, what you are doing. You have empowered those kids to have a voice. And that's very important because a lot of children all over the world, many, many children, they do not have a voice in their family even. So you gave them that opportunity. And also them being able to express themselves among other children, where they feel safe is very, very important. And that is life-changing in itself. It's like small things that we all do to help the children, and what you are doing is a big step towards helping them, towards tackling that issue of gun violence, which is really serious in the States. It's very scary because school is no more a safe place where children used to play and have fun. It's like now children have to worry. So it has to become a safe place again. Yeah.
Sure.
Because sometimes their home is not a safe place. Imagine if they come to school, it's not a safe place. So where is the safe place? And I think that's wonderful that you have created the website and also brought those children bring that awareness, how important it is for everybody. It's not only the children, but it's not only for one person to be concerned, but it's everybody's issue because it's affecting the country.
Yes.
Everybody is traumatized hearing issues, even people from other countries as well. It impacts all of us because we are interconnected. When something happens in one country, it does impact others. So it is an issue that we all should be concerned. It's not only because you live in the States, but children are innocent everywhere, and this is a call for action for everybody. Yes, thank you so much, Michael. And throughout your decade of career in corporate communications and filmmaking, what has been for you, Michael, the greatest challenge you face? And how did you navigate through it? What lesson did you learn from overcoming any challenge?
I don't know if it's so much of a challenge, but what I have learned over the years is how important listening is. Now, my career in corporate communications and interviewing perhaps patients that have cancer or some other illness, and having to really listen to what they need and want was really eye-opening for me. It's not so much having an agenda when I'm interviewing cancer patients or kids or anyone, but it's really listening to what the need really is and what they really want to talk about. It's giving that space so that can arrive naturally, as opposed to rushing in and filling every blank with some kind of sound. And quite typically, you'll see a lot of interviews where the person conducting the interview is interrupting the other person speaking, and we see that a lot on the world stage and on the debate stage, and we see that in news media when political candidates are interviewed, and it's this constant interrupting and cutting off, and this maliciousness to language. So what I've learned is to just simply allow the intelligence of the other person that I'm speaking to come through.
Mm.
And sometimes it takes a silent moment. There doesn't need to be sound in every little moment. And so that's what I kind of honed over my career. And I try to keep that in mind when talking to the kids. And I found that talking to the kids has some challenges. Um, their parents come from different political backgrounds. So some are Democrats and some are Republicans.
Right.
Some of them may have guns in the home. And so, they're not really pro-gun or anti-gun. They just don't want to be shot in school.
Yeah.
And that's really what's there. And so really listening to the kids is just seeing what they're comfortable talking about and then giving them a voice to speak about that. There may be a reluctance because of the parents. There may be a reluctance because of their friends. It may not be cool to talk about gun violence or whatever the situation may be. So it's so important to allow kids the space, the security to be able to speak freely and to really understand where they're coming from, as opposed to trying to complete their sentences or tell them how they should be feeling or saying, yeah, we'll do something about that. That really is meaningless to someone going to school who just wants to feel safe. School is a place to learn.
Yeah.
That's really the bottom line. And as we're seeing now, this is happening in churches. It happened at the Super Bowl parade.
Okay.
There was a shooting there, and kids were injured, and someone was killed. So, yeah, the message is pretty clear. We could talk about the Second Amendment. We can talk about gun rights. We could talk about all kinds of things from a left and a right point of view. That's meaningless when kids are not feeling safe. And again, it's not the kids that are experiencing the actual gun violence, and many do. They see their friends bring it in a backpack. Their friends may have it under a shirt. I've heard a lot of those stories. But to those kids who just fear, is someone going to come into my school? Because it happens everywhere. Everywhere. Every single socioeconomic background, every school with location, whether it's urban, whether it's out, in the country somewhere. It's touched every walk of life in terms of education and schools and people's background and ethnicities and so forth. It isn't a problem that is localized to one specific area. It is a national problem. And I think, as you said, it becomes a world problem. The world is not at rest.
Yeah.
When there is gun violence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's really the simple fact. And why this is so important is because these kids are inheriting the world. This is what we're giving to them.
Yeah.
And we keep forgetting, or, some lawmakers and adults who just want to go, yeah, that these kids are going to vote. Some of the kids that I've talked to over the past year or so are going to be turning 18 in a few months and will be voting in the next election, in the next U.S. election. So the bottom line is these kids are becoming adults.
Oh, yes.
So we want to set them up for success in terms that their voice is getting heard, that we're creating a world that is safe for their kids. So we're not running and hiding under desks and jumping in closets and having these drills where everyone's hiding in a basement. We're really allowing for schools to conduct what they do, teaching, classes, and churches serving parishioners and attendees celebrating a win of a football team. and not have to be worried that somebody is going to pull out a gun.
Yeah. It is very serious because these gunshots everywhere, it's happening everywhere in the States. It is a cry for help because even the person who is doing that is not in the right mental space, So there is an issue of that, of mental health as well. Not
Yeah.
only for the person who is shooting, the gunman, but it's going to impact the children, the survivors, or the adults who watch this kind of scene. So it concerns everybody. And I like that you said that how important it is to listen, Michael. I think that is something that this world has forgotten.
Yes.
Because we are so busy with our mobile.
Yeah.
Every day, on the bus, everywhere, that we don't listen anymore.
Right.
And if we listen to respond. We do not listen to understand.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And we need each other, and we need to be there to listen. Because sometimes people just need to be heard. That's it. They need to
Yeah.
just vent out what they are going through. The children, the adults, and they just want a listening ear at that time. They don't want any solutions or anything to be fixed. They just want to be heard for who they are and for what is going on in their life. So
Yes. Yes.
I think this is very important for everyone watching and listening. Give people around you that space to be heard. And because we all need that at this time. Life is so busy with the social media that we forgot to listen. And Michael, we forgot to listen to our own heart nowadays.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, because we are so focused on everything external. And that's when we start to feel lost, because we forgot that the compass we are looking for, it's not outside in the external world. It's within us, inside of us.
Absolutely.
So I think this point that you made about listening to be heard, listening to be understood is very, very important at this time. Yes, thank you for highlighting that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And my next question for you, Michael, in times of difficulty or in times of challenges, many people turn to quotes or sayings, for inspiration to boost them up. Is there one quote that resonates with you that you would like to share to the audience today?
What I'm going to say, to keep it real and to keep it fresh, and this is what the listening does, is hearing what the kids have to say.
Mm.
If I came in with an agenda, I would not have heard that one kid said, "How many lives will it take for you to listen?" Or the one kid who said, um, "We can't vote yet, so our voices need to be heard." I mean, these are the quotes that I want to be repeating back to the people that I'm working with on these projects, because these are the quotes that are from direct experience.
Mm.
So while it's lovely to quote, the wise and some, great writer or thinker or so forth, um, there are gems that we can hear when we listen to the people that we're talking to, because they're just as smart and just as insightful, and they have just as much to say to others
Yeah.
if we let them.
Yes. And I think that's so true because you s- you were telling to us earlier that these children, they wrote the song. So listening to them gave them the space to write the song, which is beautiful, you know? It tells you how much creativity they've got inside.
Yeah.
And just giving them that space has enabled them to express themselves in their songs. Yeah.
Well, you know, when you talk to these kids, you see the light is on. You could just look in their eyes and it's there. You just simply need to ask to receive it
Mm,
and say it.
yes.
So that brilliance is there, just as it is in any poet or scientist or whomever with great quotes that fill up Bartlett's quotes, Bartlett's quotations. These are the things that are most resonating with me when
Mm,
someone makes that kind of comment because it's so fresh in the moment, so real.
that's so true. Yes. And you who've been a parent, Michael, you've got two young adults at your place. And what would you like to tell parents or anybody who has children or who works with children today? What would you like to tell
Mm.
them?
Well, I'm probably going to bring it back around to listening to your kids. Uh,
Mm,
but what I started to speak about before is that it's really our job to set them up for success.
mhm,
You know, and we do that in terms of providing schools and sending our kids to the best possible schools and education and exposure to different things in culture. But do we set them up for success to become good people? Or do we set them up for success to become successful people who make a lot of money?
mm,
So, so what I would say is, do we want our kids to grow up to be good people,
mm,
people that listen to other people so
mhm.
we can hear and see what the needs are and take it from there, as opposed to just going out and winning in the marketplace and and all of that. And that's nice, of course, and but what I would say is that just the simple listening just tells us so much about what needs are. There's body language,
Mm,
subtext. There's what I really mean to say is this. And if we really hear what that is and we draw that out, then we know where we're at. And I think that's how we can be successful. But if we want to just sweep it under the rug and go, oh, yeah, 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 I heard that already. And I know what you're going to say.
mm.
And we know what the result of that is.
Yeah, I think that's very important because when we listen, it helps to build connection as well, you know? And it's about, I think it's very important because lots of parents in many cultures, they think that achieving for their kids is a great thing. Achieving this award, going to this, going to get this degree and that degree. And then when you look at those kids, yes, they earn a lot of money, but do they have social skills?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
So it's about developing your social skills, which is more important because so that you can relate with each other, whether in relationship, whether in business, whether in friendship, we all need these social skills. Yeah, and that's so important. I think so many cultures have put so much importance of their children achieving, being successful, earning a lot of money. But life is not about only earning money, you know?
Right. Right.
Yes, you will be happy, but just for a momentarily. There is
Right.
more to just earning money. Yes, and I think that's very important, the message you sent to the parents. And the other thing I would like to add, as a therapist, I have seen that a lot. All the clients who come to me, everybody, whatever issue, it all come from how they've been brought up at home, because that is their foundation. And many of them, most of them, they do not have confidence and self-esteem and belief in
Mm.
themselves.
Mm.
And I think instead of parents giving children money to achieve and to do this, I think it's very important for parents to build the confidence of their children, because when your child have confidence and believe in themselves, they can do anything, in the world.
Right.
Yeah. Because I see so many parents giving children money, clothes, whatever they want, except that the only thing they don't give them is praise and make the children believe in their own abilities and their own
Sure.
capabilities.
Right. Right.
And I think that would help to solve a lot of problem at work, in relationships as well, because they don't believe in themselves. They create so much expectations outside. So if you believe in yourself and you believe in who you are capable to achieve a lot more in this world. And
And
you
that's
are.
how we're setting them up for success. This is the success that they're being set up for.
Absolutely. Yeah. And my other question to you, Michael, you are a filmmaker for so many years, and I'm sure you've read a lot of books that have impacted you significantly. And is there one book that you would like to share with us that has impacted you the most? One or two books that have impacted you the most and that would help anybody who is listening and watching?
Hmm. I would say it's more of a body of work
Okay.
from Shakespeare, from the American Transcendentalists,
Right.
Ralph Waldo Emerson. Um, and, the words of the wise. I mean, there are books on science that I love. I love the writings of the Dalai Lama,
Mm.
writings of Einstein. There's so much wisdom out there that has influenced me, at least over the years. It's hard for me to pin down one particular book,
Mhm.
but I would say the body of work and some of the great literature, the epic poems
Okay.
from India, from Greece. Um, there's so much going on, in those that I used to teach that to my kids. I would sit down and read them Greek mythology
Okay.
every night. We did this for a while, and so powerful was the material that just hearing my voice read it, I would have all these insights. You go, wow, this was already covered years and years ago.
Yeah.
10,000 BC, these issues were coming up, and just hearing the material so fresh like that just had such an impact. And we're talking, the Odyssey or the Iliad, which was written by Homer, you know, um, 12,000 BC or something. I might have that wrong, but quite a long time ago. And in fact, it was not even written down. It was an oral story that was told, and finally someone wrote that down. And the same thing, of course, as you know, with other world literature and from India and so forth. Um, the point is just simply being open
Mm.
to everything, to the great works. And as I said before, and this is what I really, really come to understand. There is tremendous wisdom in everyone. It's
Mm.
there. It's there to be accessed. Yes, it's great to read and quote what the masters have said over the years, but these kids are speaking from the heart. And this is what they need. This is what they want. And there's nothing more wise than the person in front of you in the present moment being completely open.
Yes. I think that's beautiful, Michael. To be in the present moment and to listen and to be open. To hearing, to receiving, to giving, I think that's really, really impactful. Yes. Thank you. And before we finish, my last question for you, Michael, can you give us a bit more information about the current work that you are doing with that documentary?
Yes.
And also, how can people get in touch with you or support your project?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm looking to raise money to expand the project because I want to show that it's really a national issue and that basically the kids are all on the same page about what they want. So it's not just one geographic area, it's not just one school with one racial or ethnic makeup, but it's the entire school and it's all different and the entire country. And it's not just um, one age group, but it's kindergarten right up into university.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking to expand that. I want more kids to participate in the song, singing the song. I envision having kids from Parkland, Florida, Uvalde, Texas, Perry, Iowa, and different places in the U.S. Participating in the song. The music composer called me a few days ago and has gotten requests from schools in the UK and other parts of the world to sing the song and participate as well. And we said, why not? This, as we talked about before, this is a world problem. It's not just an isolated issue.
Absolutely.
When one country is not at rest, the rest of the world is not at rest, and it really does impact that. And so I'm looking to expand this. I do have a GoFundMe link that on the website. I've been applying for grants and trying to meet some funders and so forth. And I want to expand this out. I know where I want it to go, but I want to be very open and hear what the kids are telling me. As I talk to more kids, the project starts taking different qualities to it.
Yes.
Because I'm open and not with my agenda, oh, this is how it needs to be. But just talking to kids, I will learn a little bit more about what the need is. I'm also really involving kids in the filmmaking process. So I'm looking to mentor kids for them to work with us in creating this piece. So it's not just the adults doing it, it's the kids doing it with the adult mentors, if you will. And not that kids even need adult mentors, but just so it really is about their voice. It's giving them a voice, but they're actually doing it. One of the greatest joys that I had was a project that I did years ago with the Newark Boys and Girls Club, but they participated in coming up with the idea of a drug PSA that kids their age would be impacted by. So I came once a week to the club and taught the basics of filmmaking and that kind of thing. But they came up with the idea, and then they starred in the video. And I think I might have mentioned this to you. I got a director's Emmy for the video, but I got the Academy to give them an Emmy certificate with their names.
Yes.
Because I really wanted to have it understood that they're the ones who came up with the idea. And it really makes them feel like it's their voice.
Yes.
It's not me doing it for them, but me kind of doing it with them, So that's the plan for Will You Hear Me Now as we expand this out.
That's
to be open and let it grow and evolve and become the project that kids want it to be.
Yes. And can you tell us your website again, Michael?
at www.willyouhearmenow.com.
Thank you. That's great. Michael, I would say big thank you for you taking your time to talk to the audience, to share what you are doing on that project on Will You Hear Me Now with the kids in the United States. And I wish you a lot of success. I will keep following you and seeing where I'm sure this project will take a lot, will become very, very important as you get more kids, more people involved, more organizations, and so that it can touch everybody and that you have a wide audience that contribute and understand that message. And I think that's
Thank
very
you.
important, yes. And I am really excited that you've talked about that, you've shared that about putting importance on children, because children have very often been ignored and forgotten and not having a voice, and you giving them that space and a voice to speak is very, very valuable. Yeah. So I would like to say thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
your time, your precious time, Michael. And thank you to the audience for watching, sharing, and subscribing. And take care, everyone. We'll see you all very soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.